Everyone going out, alright? It's Cody back again. Being asked to do a video by one of my subscribers on YouTube called Zara Khan, reference correspondence while you're in prison, right? Like how I think from a perspective of like friends and family to write in and things like that, right? Well, I'm more than happy to do the video, obviously. Right, so obviously while you're in prison, right, it's imperative that you keep your ties with your family and stuff. Like there's a lot of people in the prison system that, like, through family breakdowns and stuff, they don't have any correspondence, they don't get visits and stuff, right? And that's really sad and depressing and down, because what happens, right, when you receive letters and photographs in the post and things like that, it honest to God, like, the morale that it gives you is through the roof. And the lads, like, they'll put themselves behind the door and they'll sit there and they'll read the letters and stuff, and they'll be like, you know what I mean, and they read it like several times over, and then like in the weeks following they'll just pick it up and read it, or if it's a card or something, because it boosts your morale. It really does. It's a lot to be said for it, right? There's obviously, from people on the outside, ways to send like mail and stuff is obviously, right, normally you'll have your loved one's like prison number. So normally you'd write the prison number at the top, right, the name underneath, and then HMP, whichever prison they're in, the rest of the address. You can get any address, every prison, right, within the UK, you can get their address off Google, obviously. Yeah, and then the thing is, right, when you're sending correspondence into a loved one from the outside, what you're better off doing is, when you send a letter, don't just send the letter, right? Put a stamped addressed envelope in. For those that don't know, a stamped addressed envelope is, you write your name, your address, your postcode, and you put a stamp at the top, right? So when you send the letter, you put this stamped addressed envelope in with the prison letter to your loved one, to your partner, to your son, to your husband, to your daughter, because obviously female prisoners. Yeah. So because that way, it doesn't cost the prisoner to send correspondence back. And when you do get a letter back from a loved one, right, you'll notice that on the lip of the letter, when you open it and stuff, like within the, like, when you open it, you'll see within inside the like lip of the letter, it will say a prison number, last name, and a cell number. That's because correspondence that's sent from prison, you have to put your cell number, your name, and your prison number. It's because they check it and stuff, and certain people, males being scrutinised more than others, like they might be under the public protection unit, which means that they've been done for like harassment, or there's a non-molestation order in place and stuff like that. Yeah, you can, right, this is the thing, right, it's every prison is different, so please listen to me when I say this, right? You can send books of stamps, right, like 6 stamps, right? Some prisons won't let them through, right, but some prisons do. It depends on the screw that opens your letter on the day. So if you wanted to send a book of first class 6 stamps to your fella, or to your son or whatever, it might get through, it might not, right? It depends. The prison, like I say, it depends on the screw. But the way around that would be to get 6 envelopes, write the address that you want the letter to go back to, i.e. your address, and every time you do a letter, so do 6 stamps on 6 envelopes, and then send them into your loved one. That way, he's got 6 envelopes to your address, and then he can return the letters to you, obviously. If you're going to send rude pictures in, and yeah, it does happen, again, it's down to the screw that opens the packet on the day. Some will let them through, some won't. Like, I think there's certain rules, like you're not allowed to like have nipples showing or tits out and stuff, and yeah, but like there's way covering it with your hands, or like things like that, like your ass and stuff like that. There's ways around it, but like I say, again, if you're going to send rude pictures in, they're not always guaranteed to get through. It's down to the screw on a certain day. One screw might be laid back, another screw might be a job's worth. If he is, the photo's not going to get through. like I say, if you've got a loved one that's in prison, I would always advise that you go onto their Facebook. A lot of people have Facebook and social media and stuff, or pictures you've got on your phone of, like, if your fella's in prison and you've got kids with him and stuff, send pictures of you and him, the kids and him, the family and him, because what prisoners do, right? Prison toothpaste is like glue. Anyone that's been in prison that's watching this video, you'll know the score, right? Prison toothpaste is used as glue, right? I.e., when the photos come, you turn it face down and you put on the back of it, you'll put like a blob of toothpaste, a blob of toothpaste, a blob of toothpaste, and a blob of toothpaste, and then you cement it to your wall. Yeah, and again, it gives the lads something to look at, something to focus on when they're down and they're depressed and there's no light at the end of the tunnel. Because in prison, there's some big, strong lads in prison, headstrong, physically strong, right? Some are not so physically strong, so some break quite easy and stuff, and like their head's all over the place. So having these photographs in place, even the lads that are very headstrong and can handle the jail, they will look at these pictures and they'll gain strength from them and stuff like that. And then, like, what my mum did on my last stretch, she sent in, I was only on a short stretch, right? So what she did, she sent in, like, she printed off calendar months off the internet and she sent them. And then I put my release date, circled it, and then I used to square off day by day, like tick a day off at a time, or a week off at a time, or a month off at a time. Because if you do watch your calendar, time does drag on. There's another way you can correspond with your partner. Obviously, you can do it via the telephone. The prisons don't accept incoming calls, i.e. to prisoners, but the prisoner can ring you. It's always advisable, because of the cost of ringing a mobile phone, right? It's always advisable, if you've got a landline, to give them the landline number first, because, like I say, it's a lot cheaper to ring a landline than it is to ring a mobile. A lot of people don't have landlines, some do, some don't, so that's expensive too. When you're sending in, like, if you're going to send in money to your loved one, I need to address this as well. If you're going to send money into your loved one, there's many different ways you can do it. You've got you can send cash in. Never advisable. Don't send cash in. If you send cash into someone, right? If you send £50 into somebody, right, in prison, right, a screw could look and think, well, because don't think all screws are legit and above board. Do they fuck? Right? If you send money in, right, just on its own, right, chances are it's going to be taken. If you don't understand how to send, like, a postal order, which I'll explain in a minute what a postal order is, right? Or you're not good with technology, because there's another way you can do a PTS payment. It's like an electronic payment. It's traceable and stuff, and it will reach the person, and it's the quickest way to get money to them. I think it's like www.securepaymentservices.com. It's specifically for prisoners, to send money into prisoners and stuff. So yeah, that's another way. That's the quickest way, to be honest, right? Anyway, so if you crap with technology and you don't know how to do a postal order, you can send in cash as a last resort, honestly. And if you're going to send cash in, make sure it's special delivery, right? Recorded delivery is about £1.10 and special delivery is about £7. But that way, with the delivery, with a £7 one, with a special delivery, you can actually track it and find out who signed for it and stuff like that. So that's another way you can do it on the Royal Mail website. Going on to postal orders, you go into your post office. But before you go into the post office, what you've actually got to do is I'd go on Google the prison, and then Google postal orders. So Google the prison name and then postal orders, and it will tell you who to make the postal order payable to. Because if you can't just leave it blank or write in it, it's got to be printed on it, right? So say you find out that he's in, I don't know, like Strangeways, right, and it's HMP Manchester, right, postal order, and you find out it's payable to the governor of the prison. So you go to the post office, you say that you want to £10, £15, £20, £25 upwards, right? Postal order. You want it making payable, tell the person you want it making payable to the governor or HMP, it depends on each prison's different and stuff, for 25 to the governor, and then £25. They type it up, they print it, right, and then you've got it. Then it normally, like, the higher it is, you get, like, I think, like, for £25, I think you pay about £2-3, right? So costing you about £28 for a £25 postal order. Again, as the amount goes up, so does the amount that you have to pay. So yeah, you take your postal order. On the back of your postal order, right, at the top, right, there's no space for it. You just write it at the top on the back, the prisoner's number, the name, yeah, and then below it there's a space where you put your last name, your first name, your address, and then it asks you if you want to donate to charity, right? Make sure you tick no, because if you don't, they could send it to charity, and I'm being serious, it happens. So there's a couple of bits of advice on postal orders. There's another way to correspond and stuff. I've just been having a look actually at their website. There's a thing called Email a Prisoner, right? Now, with the soaring price of stamps and stuff, and stamps being so expensive at like nearly 70p for a first class stamp, and I don't know how much a second class stamp is, topping out at nearly 70p, right? Correspondence backwards and forwards from prisoners from you to your loved one can cost you a lot of money, because obviously you're paying for the, like, letters and the stamps that you're sending in to him so he can reply, and also your own ones so you can write to him. So there's a thing called Email a Prisoner, right? Now, Email a Prisoner it's about 35, I think it's 35p off the top of my head. My mum swears by it. When I was in prison, like the last 2 times, she sworn by it, right? She's not good with technology, but she swears by it, right? The website I'm going to put into the description. I think it's actually www.emailaprisoner.com. And like I say, I've just been reading there, certain prisons, right? Like, what they're trying to do, they're trying to advance it a little bit, right? i.e., like, normally you can't attach pictures to the email, right? But now certain prisons, right, you'll have to have a look on their website, it tells you, certain prisons are going to start it so they can actually send pictures attached to the email, and then your loved one, the prison print it off, and then they put it into an envelope and post it through the prisoner's door. But the photo thing is not currently active, right? Certain prisons are trialing it and are trying to roll it out and stuff. Yeah. So normally what happens, right, is it's normally a one-way thing, but like I say again, with the advancements and stuff, they're trying to do it so the prisoner from the kiosk, which is like a job centre point, can actually reply to your email. Because as it stands at the moment, you send an email to your loved one, right, every morning, right, early morning, about 6 o'clock, right, they get printed off, right? So if you send them the night before, they get printed off in that morning, and then what they do, they go through them all, they read them all, blah blah blah, then they'll fold them up, they put them into an envelope, they write the cell number, the wing and the cell that the person's in, and then they post it through that prisoner's door. Right, like I say, currently prisoners can't reply to these emails, but it's something that's being rolled out on the www.emailaprisoner.com website. You'll see that certain prisons are going to start rolling it out. So yeah, so that's another thing. So Email a Prisoner, it's cheaper for you. It's about 35p. So yeah, it's, like I say, I think it's 35p every email you put through. You can transfer money from your account, from your bank account, into this Email a Prisoner thing, and then you can send emails 35p a time until you get to obviously as much money as you've got left, and then you top up again and go again. It's cheaper, so I'd advise it, guys. Like I say, you don't understand the correspondence, like how much it means to a prisoner and stuff. Like, you just think like, oh, it's just a letter, right? But to a prisoner that's down in he could be having the shittest day. You get prisoners that are suffering depression, got mental health issues, pining for home, and you send in like a load of pictures, right, and things like that. It's going to cheer him up, it's going to raise his spirits and stuff, and it really, really is a big morale booster. So please, please, please do listen to that. Don't go to places like Max Spielman to get pictures printed. Don't be going to places like Max Spielman and things like that. Asda. I think it's about 30p, 38p a photograph in Asda. So I'd go to somewhere like Asda or Google cheap, where's cheap to print photographs, instant photographs near to you. I'm trying to think. I'm going through everything here. This is proper detailed. This one, this video. Yeah, like I say, it's just there's a lot to be said for it and stuff. If you're gonna send, this is what I was gonna say. I was trying to think. Right, if you're gonna send a letter in with pictures, right? Again, send your pictures recorded delivery or special delivery. The more pictures you send and the heavier the parcel, the more that it's going to cost you, obviously. But yeah, it's better to send them all at once than to send them like willy-nilly. Again, send them special delivery, send them recorded delivery, because that way they don't go missing. You can track them and stuff like that. So yeah, it's definitely worth it. Like I say, this is just an insight. I've been asked to do this video by Zara Khan, and I'm more than willing to do it. And you know what? I think it's a great little video actually for you guys out there. Gives you an insight, gives you a bit of help and advice and stuff. If you need any help or advice on these sorts of issues, please feel free to follow me on Twitter or to drop me a message or like whatever, and I'm happy to get back to you guys. Right, I'll leave it there, guys. Anyway, hope you're having a great day. I'll speak to you all soon. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. All right, guys, bye.